George Phillips with Just in Time Moving and Storage is sponsoring this event with us, co-hosting. And George, would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Excellent. Yeah, George Phillips, Just in Time Moving and Storage. We provide moving services all over the valley and even long distance. So we do our long distance moves on a dedicated truck with a dedicated crew, but we do a number of moves into the senior communities, always wearing our masks. So making sure we're protecting our customers. And so anyways, George Phillips, Just in Time Moving, and my information's in the chat. Thank you very much.
Terrific. Thank you, George. We appreciate you co-hosting with us. Okay, so wonderful. Welcome everybody to our June Northern Arizona Spotlight event. It's great to see everybody over Zoom. I wish we could get together in person, but that's not possible right now. So this is the next best thing. What we do at Spotlight, we come together so that we can understand each other's services better and figure out ways we can work closer together as a community to serve the senior adults. And we're excited to have all of you join us this morning, and we look forward to hearing from first, Melissa Forte. She is with Austin House. Melissa, if you want to unmute yourself and tell us just a little bit about what's going on at Austin House.
Hi.
Sorry, Melissa, you got muted. You need to unmute yourself.
Okay. I think the computer just wants to go back and forth. Okay, so some of you are familiar with us. We're a 90-bed assisted living with 3 separate units, behavioral unit, dementia behavioral, and our traditional assisted living. We've been very busy with not only just admissions, but of course trying to make sure that we keep COVID out of our building, which we have been successful so far. Lots of changes and things in place to try and keep our residents and our staff safe, but very busy with referrals lately, which has been a good thing. Our behavior units are busy. We've been doing a lot of transfers from other facilities, but we're always available if anybody needs any advice or has any questions regarding behavioral health services, dementia with behaviors, or just our traditional assisted living care.
Okay. Anything else you want to share with us about what's going on in that area, or?
Well, unfortunately, it's starting to spike a little bit in the area, but it's a beautiful area. We're not far from Sedona. We're located in Cottonwood, right by Verde Valley Medical Center. We're near Jerome. We are doing lots of activities with our residents still. We're going on scenic drives, but just less residents at a time in the van, you know, doing extra precautions there. But we're still doing a lot of activities. We got a lot of good things going on with involvement with the families, a lot of FaceTimes with the families. But otherwise, we're just kind of moving along with so many of the changes and the day-by-day COVID changes, regs. So, but yeah, we're waiting to have our circus soon, and we're hoping to maybe do our car show like we do at the end of the year. But, you know, it's kind of all on hold right now.
Yeah, it's difficult to plan right now, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, wonderful. Does anybody have any questions for Melissa? If you do, just unmute yourself and go ahead. Terrific. Well, thank you, Melissa. We appreciate you joining us this morning and for all the wonderful things you are doing and for being heroes out there.
Thank you.
Supporting the senior industry, so thank you. And then next, I want to put the spotlight on Dr. Mark Sinnard. Did I say that right, Mark? Let's see, Mark needs to unmute himself. If you will. There you go.
Yes, you did pronounce that correctly.
Great. And Mark is with In-Home Denture, and he's fairly new to Spotlight. This is his very first Spotlight event, and we're excited to have him here with us. And you'll find him also in our Spotlight resource guide. Mark.
Good morning, everybody. Yeah, I have a mobile denture service, basically designed for older folks that have difficulty getting out of the home or live in an assisted living home, whatnot. So I can provide new dentures, repairs, relines, within maybe 3 or 4 visits to the patient. Maybe 5-10 minutes a visit, and we can even do this outside. I don't need to enter the home. And we can usually turn around and get a patient a new denture within 7 or 10 days.
Terrific. What has been most challenging for you during all this, Mark?
Just getting into the door, actually. A lot of the homes are locking up and not letting us in, so we've been a little slow there. Hopefully we can, that I think a lot of people are just a little anxious to even let anybody into their home.
Yeah, but it's a wonderful service that you are mobile and you can do it outside.
We can. I've actually seen a couple of patients on their back porch. We don't have to enter the home. I can do everything outside. It's pretty simple procedures. Pretty much do everything that we would have done at the office, but do it at their home.
Wonderful. I think that's great for everybody to know then. You don't actually have to enter the community.
Don't have to, no. And it's with some of the people, I know some of the homes after they go see a dentist or a doctor, they come back and they're isolated for 2 weeks afterwards. So we can eliminate a lot of that also.
Great. What area do you cover, Mark?
I'm sorry?
Which area do you cover?
The whole Quad City area, Prescott Valley, Dewey, Chino.
Great. Does anybody have any questions for Dr. Mark?
We have a question. Would you consider coming to Flagstaff?
Certainly. Yeah, particularly if you can line up a few patients that may need my services at the same time. We could take care of them all at the same time.
Okay, we'll get your information.
Definitely, I'll come up there for one too. Yeah, let me know.
Okay,
All right.
thank you.
You bet.
All right. Any other questions?
Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. We
You bet.
appreciate you joining us this morning. It's great to meet you over Zoom. Next, we're going to put the spotlight on the peaks. We have Leah and Patty, and I'm sorry for
Pamela.
Pamela. Thank you, Pamela, all with us this morning. Thank you.
Yes, well, I was going to talk a little bit about our Montessori and our memory care that we're going through right now. And we've been doing this for about a year with Montessori, and we've had some really great successes. And even though COVID-19 certainly has had us adapt some things, it's still very possible to have meaningful engagement, a sense of community, and helping everyone keep their independence. So that's what we're really focusing on. And this is something, you know, it's helpful not just for facilities, but at home, people who are taking care of their loved ones. We have so many ideas and things that we've been able to do with our residents. It's amazing. So I was just going to talk a little bit about some of the stuff that we're doing in our neighborhood, and that's what we like to call it, because this is their home, and we try to give that sense of community to all of our residents. And social distancing obviously has been a part of what we're trying to do, because even though we are in a locked unit, which in a way is a benefit during this time because we don't have people coming in, it's just us, it's very safe, very secluded, and you know, we have some space. We've been able to utilize that space to still have people in a room. For instance, one thing we've been able to utilize with technology being what it is now is Zoom. And we've been able to live stream musicians, local musicians on Zoom. And our residents have been able to still see their favorite people while still being in the room, you know, social distance. So that's been a really fun activity to get them engaged, as well as with their families. We've been using FaceTime, we've been using Zoom, Google Duo, Skype, all of that to get everybody really engaged. And that's part of Montessori. We are just really trying to stick to our principles, which are keeping a sense of independence, providing meaningful and engaging activities, and providing that sense of community for everybody to be a part of. And we also provide jobs, which is a really big principle in Montessori, just allowing residents to have an opportunity to help if they want to just be a part of, cleaning. That's been a big thing. We've been trying to offer some opportunities for residents to actually have their own job. So a lot of residents during this time, even though they might not realize what COVID-19 is, they've been helping us sanitize, clean the door handles, sweep the floors. That's been really cool because they're very engaged. And we try to utilize their strengths. That's also a big principle in Montessori. Everyone can still do something. And so we try to pick out, what is their strength? What can they still do? And we utilize that. For people who like to listen to music and to sing and to dance, we'll have them actually still be leading that sort of thing in our Montessori with their neighbors and other residents. So they're getting this opportunity to have, meaningful activities still even during this time. And another thing that's been important is getting people outside in the fresh air. This is big because in Montessori, we want them to have that opportunity, and that's meaningful to them. They go outside and they look at the trees, they see the nature, and just because we're, in a locked unit doesn't mean we can't still get outside and get all that fresh air. So we've been really spending a lot of time getting residents out and about. Another thing we've been trying to concentrate on is one-to-one type of activities. And that's been actually really cool because we've had a lot of opportunity during this time to spend really quality time with our residents and reminisce, read, do crafts, just kind of get them happy when they are feeling sad or lonely, just still get them involved because that's super important. And we also have, within our Montessori, we created resident boxes to where residents who don't really need the one-on-one, they're a little more independent, can actually go grab their own box that has their name on it with supplies in it. It has reading materials, it has magazines, coloring supplies, everything like that. And they can actually just go do their own type of activities as well, which is really nice. We're trying to just provide an atmosphere where they can succeed and, be successful. So that's a huge thing, and just keeping their independence during this time. We try to have positive engagement. That's another principle of Montessori, just really providing those meaningful activities, but things like, we can't do socials per se, but we will take our cart around and have our residents help us pass out ice cream and snacks. And again, utilizing those technologies like Zoom. We have virtual pets where we'll talk to people over Zoom and they'll show us their pets and the dogs are doing tricks, and it's just really, really awesome. So resident choice is just huge. I mean, they still get to choose things that they want to do. They still have huge input. We have clubs still that are going on, like a little hospitality club, and during this time they've been using their club to write cards to their families and send them out. And so it's just so possible to still do so many things with Montessori, and we have so many ideas for when we can start doing even more and more things, but there's just so many great things that have gone on during this time. Oh yeah. Yeah, a little addition there. We also train all of our employees in Montessori who work in the memory care. So when they first get onto our community, they go through Montessori training, and everyone's just fully aware of everything that we do. We have Montessori huddles where we talk about what we're working on, maybe even certain residents. And we're also here for if anyone else has any needs or questions and wants to ask us about ideas or anything like that. We're definitely open to helping out. Yeah, you can contact me. I can put my email in the chat actually, and you can always contact me through that as well.
Great, Pamela. Anything else you want to share with us?
Anything else we need to know? Yeah, I mean, COVID has definitely presented some challenges that we had to adapt to, but we really feel like Montessori has lived through all of this even stronger than how it was. So it's been really amazing to see all the beautiful residents and just how they have adapted as well. I mean, obviously we try to keep their routine as much as possible. So I feel like they're happy. You go up there, they're all engaged every day. So it's not, you know, maybe some people feel like during this time people aren't doing anything, but they definitely are. They're very engaged and they're very happy.
Terrific. Any questions for the Peaks, for Pamela?
Pamela, this is Robin. I haven't ever met. Hi. I've never seen Patty before in person, so that was great to see her. Hey, as you were talking, I just had a thought come to my mind. Are your residents familiar with being on computers? Are they, I mean, because I know sometimes the older generation doesn't feel comfortable being on computers, but do they do computer activities, or do they have their personal computers in their rooms, or how does that look?
Usually when somebody moves in, we ask them and their families if they're familiar with computer technology. And for the most part, our population right now is not, but we have been able to show them some things. We do have an iPad in the unit, and we've been able to utilize that for our FaceTimes and Zooms. It also has games on it and, you know, like little piano playing stuff and whatnot. So they do utilize that. And they have learned, you know, at first, just a little story, we had a resident who thought they were watching a video of their family when we were trying to FaceTime with them. And after a couple times, they got the hang of it, and they actually started ending it themselves and starting it themselves on the FaceTime. So they're definitely capable of learning new things and learning this technology, even though they didn't really have it before.
Yeah. And I'm not sure what it looks like, because you're dealing with people with memory loss and stuff, and it might be hard for them to, even if they were computer literate or could type on a computer. Do you find that it would be hard for them to write down their histories?
Like just writing kind of on a piece of paper, is that what you're,
well,
like a journal type of thing?
Well, what I was bringing up is there's a website called historylines.com. It's really cool. You can go on there and you can start writing your history, and you put in a little bit of information, and it basically brings in all the events that were going on during their lifetime, like when they were born, what was going on, and then they can add to it. But I'm not sure if that's something that your residents, or maybe a one-on-one with a coach, they could get onto a computer nearby if they know how to do keyboard and start writing their history. And this could be an activity that they could do maybe one-on-one with somebody sitting nearby, or something. Maybe if they don't have a computer in their room or something. But it's called historylines.com for anybody who's listening. And you do get one history for free. And then if you wanted to write another history, you pay for those. But it's really fun. And I just started, you know, doing it myself, and might be somebody who's very lucid and has good memory function could spend some time during the day writing their history. And then that's something that they can pass on to their family. You can even have the book printed, a book type bound and printed out after you write your history. So it might be something for you guys to incorporate.
Yeah, I really like that idea. I've never heard of that, but we'll definitely look into that. And there are some residents who would definitely be capable of, you know, I could sit next to them and they could help us fill it in. So that would be really cool.
Yeah.
And
if somebody's a journal writer and already has written a lot of their history down and maybe has brought those with them, they could type in what their journal says. So they don't always have to remember everything. They could say, oh, let me write in what my journal said here on this date. Because you fill it in by life events that happened. And because their date is already probably written in their journal, they could start writing those in. That would be fun for
That's
them.
really cool. Awesome.
Terrific. Good ideas coming up. So any other questions or comments for the Peaks, Pamela? All right, terrific. Well, thank you so much. You're doing some wonderful things there. So it's great to hear about all of those. Now we're going to open it up to announcements. Does anybody have an announcement they want to make to the group? No announcements today?
Hi. I have an announcement.
Yeah. Patty.
So,
Hello.
we're finding, you know, in Northern Arizona that a lot of the at-home caregivers have been at home a lot. And I know that there's some, it can be very stressful because their routine has changed and they're not allowing, not all of them are afraid to allow people into their home environment. So we do have some openings and some safety measures in place, even for respite. If you know of anyone out in the community that's struggling and just need a little bit of help, we would be glad to help them.
Terrific. That's great to know. Any other announcements?
This is Melissa with Jackson White. I just wanted to remind all of you that we have transitioned to webinars. You know, we're very committed to providing education in the community to professionals as well as families. And so in just 2 days, so it's the 25th of June, Thursday, from 10 to 11, we have Navigating the Journey, which is a community-based presentation that's an overview on All-Tex, the VA wartime pension, and also advanced directives. And then we also have a couple of All-Tex 101 webinars coming up in July, both the 22nd and the 23rd. The 22nd is in the morning, the 23rd is in the afternoon. You can visit our website, and I'll type it into the chat down here. Just go to the All-Tex page and to webinars, the webinar tab at the top, and you'll find a list of all of those where you can register. We'd love to have you join us for one of them.
All right, fantastic. Thank you. So something new that we're doing with Spotlight is we're putting videos on our website now, and I know a lot of you might have a video that you've prepared, maybe as a virtual tour of your community, things like that. So if you have those, if you're an advertiser with us, talk to Robin. You can send those to Robin at spotlightseniorservices.com, and she'll put that on your page with us. Robin, do you want to say anything about that?
Yeah, so any events you have going on, also send me those. I know everybody's going live with webinars, and I'm happy to post those for you on our website and on meetup.com for more exposure to your events. But for those of you that are advertisers and have virtual tours or PowerPoint presentations or any type of YouTube video that you've put together, capturing, you know, the essence of your community, I'm happy to put those on our website and start, you know, traffic coming to that video for you, which is great. So just reach out to me, let me know what I can do to help, and I'm here to serve you. As Kyle mentioned at the beginning of the Zoom event, we're going to reintroduce our giveaway drawing at our events. How we're going to do that is if you come prepared to share 1 or 2 minutes about your community, about your services, we're going to ask you to provide a digital drawing, a digital card. Like some people can get an Amazon card or a Starbucks card, and so that'll give you the opportunity to speak again and share 1 or 2 minutes about your services or your community. And then we'll have a digital drawing, and we'll pick out of however many people are in attendance to our event, we'll pick somebody and you can send them the digital card by email, if that works for you.
Terrific. Yes, that's a good idea. It's always fun to give something away, and it's always fun to win something too. So we'll add that back to our spotlight events. Well, we appreciate all our speakers speaking with us today. You'll find all of them in our Spotlight Resource Guide. You'll find Austin House on page 38, the Peaks on page 46, and in-home denture on page 27. So you'll find the contact information there. And just a reminder, our resource guides are digital. So if you're speaking with someone over the phone and you can't hand them a Spotlight, send them to our website, spotlightseniorservicesnorthernarizona.com, and they can click on the guide. They can actually turn through the pages and see it that way as well. There's a lot of other great information on our website. So check it out. We made a few changes to the website, and looking for your feedback on that as well. We're here to help, as Robin said, so if there's something that you feel we can do to support you, please reach out and let us know what that looks like for you and how we can do that. Any other comments before we end this event? We want to make sure everybody felt heard, understood, and acknowledged. So now's your time.
Hi, just real quick. I am new to Spotlight. My name is Josie. I'm with Nurses Network. So I just wanted to drop in and introduce myself before the video ends. So I'm up in Flagstaff. We've got Flagstaff, Prescott Valley, and Sedona. We are under new ownership, so the transition should be complete in a couple of weeks. And we've really beefed up our home health staff. So with all the COVID stuff going on, we've seen a increased need in home health. So we do have 4 nurses. We've got 4 RNs. We'll have 3 PTs here shortly. We've got a speech therapist, occupational therapy, medical social worker. So in terms of home health, we've really been able to get in and help people more than maybe wouldn't have been homebound previously, but due to the high risk out there with COVID, we've really been able to kind of step up to the plate and help people out. So
Terrific. Well, welcome, Josie. I'm glad you introduced yourself. Anybody else who's new that wants to introduce themselves?
Hi, Josie. It's Robin with Spotlight. So glad that you introduced yourself. Hey, I'm really glad to know that you're in contact with Nurses Network. And if you could add your full name and email address and phone number in the chat box, that would be really helpful. I need to reach out to you.
yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Terrific. Anybody else?
Hi, this is Denise from Caring Presence.
Hi, Denise.
Hi. Hey, I'm sorry, we tried to get in when you were asking about announcements, so we're kind of new to Zoom, so I don't think we did it right. However, I did want to let you guys know that we did come out with a gift certificate. It is $50 for 2.5 hours of in-home care. It's a $75 value, and you can purchase them and give them to friends or use them yourself. We can have 1 gift certificate used in every 6-month period, but that's a good way to introduce people to having people come into their home and help them out. That's it.
Great, thank you. Anybody else? All right, well, thank you so much for joining us. We always meet the the 4th Tuesday of every month in Northern Arizona. So share this with a friend or a colleague, let them know that we missed them today, and let them know that it was recorded. So if they want to go to our website, they'll be able to view this, and they won't miss it. So now's your time to say goodbye. We're going to mute everybody, or unmute yourselves if you want to say goodbye, and then we hope to see you next time. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you, Kyle.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Melissa, for talking. You did great.
Robin.
Thanks, everyone. Good to see you.
Thanks, Mark.
Good to see you,
too.
Mark.
Good to see anybody.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right?
Great
Have a good
day.
day.
Stay cool, everybody. Hydrated and inside.
Right? Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.